Hey, I'm going to try and keep this quick. So this whole video is just gonna be about fire TVs and TVs as a whole, and the idea of a gift, and the idea of being president of Sutherland, and all of that in one, hopefully less than 5 minute episode. Okay, so when I became, actually right before I became president of Sutherland, one of my initiatives was to bring a fire TV to the dorm. Right, fire TVs are these things here, and basically you can watch streaming, any streaming service you really want to watch on them. And watching the idea kind of really just like, because when I first got to the dorm, the first thing I wanted to do was use the big TV in the main lounge. So it didn't initially work when you want to connect your devices on the HDMI. So I figured that out. It was basically restart the whole TV thing, but I had to do it in a weird way. So did that, fixed that, and I was like, dang, you know what? Instead of using my laptop connecting with HDMI all the time, I'd rather just have a Fire TV because it's more convenient. Then I developed the idea. I was like, okay, let me just bring Fire TVs to the dorm. It's not that much. $20 isn't that crazy. And I ordered. Actually, I didn't order it. My mom ordered it. And they arrived right before the election results came in. Became president, and then a couple months later, finished the Fire TV initiative, got them to all the main lounges, and then yeah, and then a few weeks prior, um, this was stolen from the main lounge, or taken, or misplaced, or wherever the saying is. Um, and that was the case, right? And then now it was placed back. I came back to Nigeria, did like a whole sabbatical. I came back to Nigeria, and then this was in the place where it was meant to be, kind of. And then now, like, I know I want to put it back, but part of me, oh, number one, I also have to get a new remote because I left the remote in Nigeria because this is a Fire TV in my in this. I left the Fire TV remote in Nigeria. That's the point. Um, so now I'm really wondering what I want to do because on one hand I really want to put this thing here, right? I want to put it back on the TV, but I think there's just part of me that like is bigger than I want to admit, that I feel like it's gonna be worthless if I put it there and someone takes it again. There's so many conspiracies for who I think did it, and it's just like I think it's very plausible it just happens again. I feel like if I say, hey guys, it's back, um, rather than people even using it, someone's just gonna take it, and then it's gonna be like, dang, it's gonna be a waste of $20. I think the value isn't in the money; it's more so just in the act, if that makes sense. Um, now that's all fine and dandy, right? But I think what I went to this what do they call it again? SOGC. Too many acronyms in the school, but some of God's children. It's like this. My friends are in the choir, so I went to go watch them perform because it's the last performance this year. I went to go watch them perform, and a point that was brought up essentially was this idea of different people and different experiences, particularly in the sense of just let's do this. Particularly in the sense of just not having that place, or not having feeling like they had to like go a certain route in their lives or in their experiences in college. I didn't want, and I was thinking about that. I was like, oh dang. I think for me, one of my favorite things in life since I was a kid is just to watch TV, watch movies, and all that. I think that's kind of why I put the TV there, like the Fire TV there in the first place, because I just like watching TV. That's like my biggest hobby, I think. I think I want to create an environment where people can just like, you don't have to, you can just come and enjoy your life, meet new people, and just watch TV. So I think ultimately I've landed on the decision. I am going to put it back. I am going to pitch for it to be a dorm wide, like a dorm wide initiative amongst all dorms on campus, because it helps both students and security staff. I think there's just so much, there's so many benefits. And I kind of want to like, so sorry, when I had like the pause there, like someone passed by here recording videos when people are like nearby. But I think the idea really stems from this, right? I like watching TV, right? That's like the core of it. But I also think there's another aspect when I was listening to this. I think it was, I don't even know what to call it thing. It was like a sermon, a service. I don't know what it was exactly. It was really long, but it was also really nice. Um, it was basically one of these testimonies, and they were like talking about how they felt like they didn't have this person, like they were just like in these very dark moments. And it's not my place to tell that story, but I think I want to, even if I can help a bit, I want to kind of try and give like those little sparks of joy for people. I think this is one of the ways to do that. I think it's really awesome. That's something that I really love since I've been a kid. Is where I can give a gift. Right? I feel like this is a very pre-developed idea, and maybe it's gonna be something I have to cook more on. Um, Not gonna lie, my head like pre-developed. Then I had like a child in my head. Then when I said cook, it felt like three words. Like the analogy of a child in my head and then cooked just didn't align. But I think it's something I'm gonna have to work on more. But I do think it's something really awesome. I do want to continue working on that. I know before the school year ends, one initiative I want to try and do is kind of have something with the whiteboards. I know I did something for International Day of Happiness, but I want to try doing like maybe some of these like little stuff just to make your day a bit brighter. So it could be either sticky notes or just like a whiteboard thing with some funny quote or picture, something like that. And I think that's just what I want to do, right? Like creating that environment, being that person, and yeah. Plus, it's just really fun to have like a cool TV and like have a cool Fire TV on a big TV. But yeah, I think that's where my head is at. Obviously, there's some other stuff. There's exams. I have a bunch of projects, school projects and papers, and exams I have to study for and work on. But I think a lot of them are really fun. And even like I think the hardest exam is probably gonna be discrete structures. That's a fun class if you think about it. Like you just have to get, if you know what you're doing, I think it's pretty fun. That's especially the case for intro to matrix and linear algebra. Like if I don't know what I'm doing, it's kind of like I feel very lost. But once I start to grab the concepts, it's like dang, and you feel really smart you're doing it because like it's very abstract math in my opinion. It's very abstract math in my opinion. So it's like you feel like you're doing all these cool stuff on a chalkboard, even though it's like a whiteboard. And these projects I'm working on, I have to work on a Chrome extension that kind of like finds the very legal blurry language in terms and conditions using AI. So that's gonna be really interesting. I think it's just be like a ChatGPT wrapper or something like that. But I am excited. I think I want to continue that effort of trying to be that explosion in itself of just joy and everything that defies limits and all of that. But yeah, that's. I hope I encapsulated the ideas I want to encapsulate. It went a bit over 5 minutes, but that's where my head is at. That's where my head is going. And besides, I have nothing else to say. So have a great day.